Hi everybody, Rachel from North Brisbane Psychologists. I want to talk briefly about what it might mean to live non-defensively or in an undefended way. Another way of saying that might be to live with openness, to live with an open heart. But let me start by talking about what it means to be a person with defenses or defense mechanisms. A little while ago, I was at my dentist, and from a car accident I had when I was only 16 years old, when I had which caused a cracked molar, and I lost half a molar. I've had ongoing issues with this particular tooth. Anyway, at a recent dental appointment, the dentist showed me an x-ray of my tooth, and he explained something that I found really interesting. He said, look, in this bit there'll be some nerves, and the nerves will have pulled away as a defense mechanism. That was the word he used, as a defensive mechanism. But there'll still be a bit of pain because, the nerves are there for the purpose of being a defensive mechanism, to alert you to cold and pain and heat and to protect the teeth, he said. So you'll be getting still a little bit of pain even though the nerves have pulled away, and you'll be getting some referred pain. Because he used this term defensive mechanism, I thought, well, that's exactly what our whole nervous system does when we go into a defensive stance or a defensive posture psychologically, or into one of our defense mechanisms, whatever that might be. And there's different therapies that talk about it differently. Schema therapy talks about our schemas, which are our unconscious operating systems of beliefs and behaviors that are trying to protect us, trying to defend us in some way. But when the dentist talked about this defensive mechanism of the nerves pulling away, it got me thinking. And I thought, young children are just like a bundle of nerve endings out there in the world, sensing and feeling everything. And then pain comes, shock comes, some sort of hurt, or over time it becomes not just physiological but psychological, criticism, judgment, blame, aggression, abandonment. And as young, undefended beings, Brené Brown says children are like turtles without shells, which is a great image, I think. The turtle without a shell is just this soft-bodied creature, and children are like that. The defensive mechanism of their whole nervous system and their brain means that they pull away, just like the nerve endings in the dental pulp of my molar tooth. There's this pulling away of the nerves, but at a psychological level, there's a pulling away of the psyche in self-protection. Just like the nerves in my tooth, this is automatic, this is reflexive, it's not a choice. So our defense mechanisms are as biological as that situation with my tooth. So this is what gives me enormous compassion and respect for humans' defenses. The defensive mechanisms in us are trying to protect us and keep us safe. But then we all know the pain that they end up leading to, the pain of feeling emotionally numb, the pain, but not quite numb, a bit like the tooth. A bit more numb, but there's still pain. The pain of feeling shut down, the pain of feeling disconnected from others, the pain of feeling disconnected from our world around us, dissociated, detached, the pain of feeling disconnected from ourselves and losing out on our aliveness. Because while children are a bundle of nerve endings, metaphorically, vulnerable to being shocked and hurt and even abused, they're also, when you're a bundle of nerve endings, you're also open to the joy and the goodness of that, the aliveness of that. So here's a little experiment for you, because to me, being undefended, living in a less defended way, relaxing those defense mechanisms, if you like, feels like almost like being a child again. It feels alive. It feels there's something about it that's sensual and in the moment and open and curious, and there's a sort of freedom in that, and there's a trust in that. And of course, we've all experienced situations which have not been safe and where we've lost that sense of trust and openness because that's so vulnerable. But I think we all yearn to live back again in that open, vulnerable, curious place where we want to be out in the world and discovering and learning and experiencing and feeling. So that's my experience of being defended versus undefended. When I'm undefended, I feel and I'm in the moment, and there's more joy and there's more gratitude and there's more aliveness. And when I'm feeling very defended, shut down, in self-protection mode, self-preservation mode, while I understand why that happens and that's okay, for me it feels kind of shut down, tense, tight, closed up, closed off. And here's a simple test. Right now in your body you can feel into this question. Am I in a state of relative openness and relative relaxation? Or do I feel like I'm sort of closed, shut down? And there's something that we teach in some therapies called tracking, where we experience, we pay attention to, we observe what our body, our system, our feelings, our senses are doing. And we can track this in our system. Do I feel relatively closed or relatively open? Do I feel a degree of relaxation in my body, or do I feel tension and tightness? And of course, it's not as if you can just snap your fingers or turn off the tap or turn on the tap and change that. But the first step is always noticing what's going on in your system and honoring those defense mechanisms, honoring the shutting down, the tightness, the tension, the constriction, the pulling away that happens in your system at some level. It's your body trying to protect you. But we need to find ways to come back to our senses, come back to our feelings, come back to life, come back to a sense of, I have a body and I'm here and I'm alive right here, right now. And life is good even though it's challenging. And therapy is about, many therapies are about helping you find ways to do this. So that's all I want to say. I've taken up enough time. But if you have any comments about your experience of being very defended or very undefended, open, or any other questions about defense mechanisms, feel free to make a comment below. Till next time.